It was a rainy Thursday night in the quiet suburbs of Chicago, and Mark Thompson was just tucking his 7-year-old daughter, Lily, into bed. The clock glowed 8:45 p.m., and he whispered her favorite bedtime story about adventurous squirrels, his voice soft against the patter of rain on the window. But as he kissed her forehead and turned off the light, his phone buzzed harshly on the nightstand. It was his boss, Elena Ramirez, the iron-fisted CEO of Technova Solutions, known for her razor-sharp deadlines and zero tolerance for excuses. "Mark, my computer's crashed. Come fix it now. Address in my signature." No pleasantries, just command. Mark's heart sank. He was a single dad since his wife's passing 2 years ago, juggling IT wizardry by day and fatherhood by night. But jobs like his didn't grow on trees. He called his neighbor to babysit, grabbed his toolkit, and drove into the storm, wondering if life would ever cut him a break. Hey everyone, if you're already hooked on this tale of unexpected twists and heartfelt connections, smash that like button right now. It helps stories like this reach more hearts. And if you love emotional roller coasters that leave you inspired, hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss out. Let's dive deeper into Mark's night that changed everything. Mark arrived at Elena's upscale townhouse around 9:15 p.m., soaked from the downpour. She opened the door in a crisp blouse and slacks, her dark hair pulled back tightly, exuding the same unyielding authority that made boardrooms tremble. "About time," she snapped, leading him to her home office. The room was a fortress of glass and steel, monitors everywhere, files stacked like battle plans. Her laptop screen was frozen, a critical presentation for tomorrow's investor meeting glitching out. Mark rolled up his sleeves, diving into diagnostics while Elena paced like a caged lioness. "This can't happen now," she muttered. "Everything's riding on this." As he worked, Mark couldn't help but notice the personal touches scattered amid the corporate chaos, a framed photo of Elena with a much younger version of herself and an elderly woman, her mother, perhaps, and a half-empty wine glass on the desk. He focused on the task, his fingers flying over the keyboard, recovering files and purging viruses. An hour in, the tension eased slightly. "You're good at this," Elena admitted, sinking into a chair nearby. It was the first crack in her armor Mark had ever seen. He glanced up, surprised. "Thanks. IT's my thing. Been doing it since college to pay for, well, life." Elena poured herself another glass of wine, offering him one he politely declined. He had to drive home to Lily. But as the clock ticked toward 11 p.m., the conversation shifted from tech jargon to something real. "You work late a lot," Mark said casually, testing a reboot. "Don't you have family waiting?" Elena's eyes flickered with something raw. "Family? My ex left years ago, said I was married to the job. Mom passed last year. It's just me and this empire now." Her voice cracked, and for the first time, Mark saw the woman behind the boss, lonely, driven by grief and ambition, much like him. The computer hummed back to life, the presentation saved. Relief washed over Elena's face, and she let out a genuine laugh, a sound Mark had never heard at the office. "You saved me, Mark. I owe you." He packed his tools, but as he stood to leave, she touched his arm lightly. "Wait. It's late. Stay for a coffee?" I don't want to be alone tonight." Her eyes, usually steely, held vulnerability. Mark hesitated. Lily was asleep, the neighbor reliable, but something in her plea mirrored his own isolation. He nodded. They moved to the living room, rain still drumming outside. Coffee turned to stories. Mark shared about losing his wife to cancer, the endless nights of grief while raising Lily alone, the fear of failing as a dad. Elena opened up about her rise from a struggling immigrant family, building Technova from scratch, but at the cost of relationships. "I push people away," she confessed, tears welling. "It's easier than getting hurt." Mark reached out, wiping a tear from her cheek. "We all do that sometimes. but life's too short to hide. The air thickened with unspoken emotions. Elena leaned in, her hand on his. "Mark, you've been more than an employee tonight. You've been kind." Their lips met in a tentative kiss, born of shared pain and sudden connection. It deepened, clothes shedding like old defenses. 2 hours after his arrival, tangled in each other's arms on the couch, Elena whispered breathlessly against his ear, "Don't stop." It wasn't just passion, it was a plea for the moment to linger, for walls to stay down. But reality crashed in like the thunder outside. Mark pulled back gently, his mind racing to Lily, to work ethics, to the complications. "Elena, we can't. You're my boss. I have a daughter." She sat up, nodding, her face a mix of regret and understanding. "I know. But tonight showed me I'm not as unbreakable as I pretend." They dressed in awkward silence, but before he left, she hugged him fiercely. "Thank you for seeing me, Mark. Not the CEO, the person." The drive home was a blur of rain and reflection. Mark slipped into Lily's room, watching her sleep peacefully, vowing to balance his life better. At work the next day, Elena was professional, but kinder, approving his request for flexible hours without question. Whispers of change rippled through the office. She started team-building events, encouraged work-life balance. Mark, inspired, joined a support group for single parents, finding community. Months later, their connection evolved, not into a forbidden romance, but a genuine friendship. Elena became Auntie Elena to Lily, attending school plays and sharing holidays. Mark dated again, cautiously, while Elena learned to delegate, rediscovering hobbies like painting. The night that started with a frantic call became a turning point, proof that vulnerability could heal, not destroy. In the end, life's storms don't define us, it's how we reach out in the dark that does. Sometimes, a simple fix uncovers deeper repairs. If this story touched you, remember, open your heart, even when it's scary. You never know what whisper might change your world. Thanks for watching, like, subscribe, and share your own stories in the comments. Until next time, keep believing in second chances.